to thriving leadership wasn't control, but clarity. I am your host, Shreya. Tonight on Inner Peace Better Health, we sit down with Rutherford Pascal, founder of GlassWalls Leadership and a seasoned executive with over 30 years of experience at Fortune 100 companies. Rutherford's mission? To help leaders lead better by cultivating inner purpose, presence, and people first principle. His PID system, preparation, intention, intentionality, and differentiation is reshaping how leaders rise with integrity and impact. If you are a leader or becoming one, this is the clarity you have been waiting for. Welcome, Rutherford. I am honored to have you on my show.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And after decades of high level leadership, what do you now see as the most overlooked trait of a truly great leader?
So the most well, it's overlooked. The most overlooked trait of a leader is really listening. Um, we talk about it, but we don't emphasize it enough. It's talked about, and if you're a great leader, you listen to your people very well. You know your people very well. You listen to the customers, right? You listen to everything about that. And if in fact you do that well, you generally succeed widely. Like you will succeed if in fact you listen, and then you not only have to listen. So when I say, and I talk about aggressive listening, right? Meaning that you have 10 people or 30 people you talk to, that you're responsible for. They talk to you. When they ask you to do something and two or three people ask you to say, then you actually have to implement something. You can't just listen and do nothing. That's not great. Something has to come from that listening. But listening is the skill that is most needed in leaders.
Yes, yes, that's such a refreshing truth that listening is a very important tool. And how does your own leadership philosophy evolve around inner peace and people development?
So around inner peace and people development. So let me break that up to the inner peace portion of it. So one of the things that I want to talk about is is this daily mindset, right? So one of the things that I talk about in the book, right, the PID system is having a daily mindset. So it's a daily preparation, daily intention, right, of what you're going to do, right? And if you have this daily mindset, you're going to walk through that day with tremendous peace because you know what you're doing, you know why you're doing it, it's important to you, and you're going to find you're going to find that when you do that, you're not going to be frazzled. You're not Things aren't going to get in your way. If you have a specific goal that you want to achieve that day, when I talk to people about it, so okay, what's the most important thing that has to happen today? Now, you go through and mentally prepare for that. Then you mentally talk about exactly what's going to happen at that meeting or event or whatever. And then you mentally think about the outcome, right? You do those three things: the preparation, the intention, the outcome. You have this peace around because you're not worried, you're not anxious. It's already happened in your mind.
Mm.
It's already happened um in that. So that's that whole thing, that daily thing you do every day. the other part, and I mentioned intention, that book is PID, that I is intentionality.
Yes.
The more intentional you are, the more at peace you are.
Okay.
Structure, the structure creates freedom. Interesting, right? Structure
Yes.
creates freedom,
That's very
right?
interesting.
Yeah. So if you have structure, and what I mean by that is, when I'm not talking about being rigid, that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh,
I'm talking about you understand what's going to happen here, 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 and because of these, what you understand, you have this freedom that you have in those pieces. So that's really about the um, that's really about the inner peace. I forgot the second part of the question was
Uh,
beside inner peace.
yes, it's about like how does your own leadership philosophy evolve around inner peace and also people's development.
Okay, so it's hand in hand. So I if I care, I really care about driving people to be their best self and be the best that they can be. What's interesting is most people don't understand how great they are. They don't know what I call it, the zone of genius. They sometimes don't understand the impact they're making on people, customers, the company, because no one's ever told them that.
Yes.
People don't tell you when you're great.
Mm.
People have a hard time saying, Shreya, you are spectacular at X, Y, and Z.
Ye- Yes.
You hear it every once in a while, but it's not shouted from the mountaintop,
Mm.
right? And it's not consistent, right? So sometimes people go, I guess I'm pretty good at X or Y. But if you so what I try to do from a people development is tell them, hey, you are exceptional here. Did you know that? And the answer that I typically get is either no, no one's ever told me that, or I think I'm pretty good. And they don't understand the step how much better they are
Yes.
than the normal people, right? So then what I'm trying to do now is help them either develop it to make that strength even stronger,
Mm.
right? Or show them that that key strength is going to help you get to levels in an organization to where you can be even better. So let me tell you a quick story. So I had a leader whose strength was the fundamentals.
Okay.
He was spectacular in the fundamentals. Nothing, listen, he wasn't inventing the light bulb or sliced bread and he wasn't inventing anything. What he was doing was the day-to-day tactics he had it down so well, then his team had it down so well. He that team won over and over again. And I said to him, I believe you can be a second line leader.
Yes.
And nobody had ever told him that he could be more than he was right now. In his mind, he had reached the ceiling of his career.
Yes.
And because I told him that, and I told him other things he could do to strengthen when an opportunity rises, he did it, and he became a second line leader. He told me later that no one's ever told him that, so he wasn't. It wasn't even part of the calculus he was having in his head
Mm.
to become and develop to be that. So, and a lot of times it's our role as leaders to see things in our people that they don't see in themselves.
Yes. Yes.
And now it's also our role as great leaders to help. uh, coach them on what they need to do to develop into that role we know they're going to succeed at. And once they get in, they go, I can't believe I'm here, but I really belong here. And I understand now why Shreya and Rutherford said that I could do this. So the people development is something that is a ongoing day to day activity for leaders. It's people development is not end of the year end review or mid year review or no. People development should be something that every single conversation you're having with those people, you're working on growing them at whatever level. So that's how I think about people development. I don't think about anything in a time frame of uh oh yeah, I'll talk to I'll talk to him about that in March of 30th of March. No, we talk about it all the time.
Yes. And that's so true that we often get the negative reviews and the feedbacks more than the positive one. Very few of them really appreciate us for what we do, and like to say us that we can do more is like very rare. To get someone who can really say us that you can do better, you are really a genius, this is so rare, and thank you for saying that and enlightening that. And also from there we got that PID. So tell us about your PID system, that is preparation, intentionality, and differentiation. Why those three, and how do they show up in everyday leadership?
Okay, that's great. So the preparation is the foundation of everyday. If you're not prepared, before talking to your team, in a situation. So just put yourself in a situation where you have to roll out a new system, something new to your team. You need to prepare for that conversation. How are you going to break? Is it going to be something that they're going to like, you think they're going to like, or they're going to hate, right? So the preparation of how you communicate that is really, really important. Um, and the preparation of some of the questions that you might get from the team is important, right? So you need to understand the downside of this, whatever this thing you're presenting to your team. So that preparation is critical, because if you, as a leader, the expectations are that you've thought about everything, even though people don't tell you that. That's the expectation. Now, there's going to be some questions that you don't think about, and you just got to say it. That's a great question. Let me find the answer out for that. So you do have an out. The problem is, you can't say that 10 times in a conversation. Then they think you're not prepared. You have no idea what you're talking about,
Mm,
right?
mm.
So you want to be as prepared as possible, and you come up with different situations on how to handle that. So that's the preparation, and that's important in everything, but it's significantly important in leadership, because you have 10 people, 12 people, 30 people, 4 people that are looking at you for leadership, for guidance, for a vision. And if you're not prepared about whatever the situation is, and if you're not prepared on a regular basis, they're not going to look at you as a good leader. And they're not. And if you say something, they're probably not going to follow you. Right.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
John Maxwell, always says, if you're a leader and nobody's following you, you're just walking around. Right. You need to have some place where they are following you, because you're giving them great information, great guidance. So that's the preparation part of it. we talked about intentionality on the previous questions, but intentionality is doing something with a purpose, having a purpose for what you're doing on a regular basis, right? And then the differentiation, we haven't said this, so talked, yes. Differentiation is interesting. I mentioned the manager that his zone of genius
Yes.
was the fundamentals. That's what made him different, right? That was a strength, right? When people hear differentiation, they think they this person's 6'9" or green hair or whatever, right?
Yes.
So what it is. It's whatever you're great at, whatever when you do something, when you're doing work and you're doing something and you're at it for 3 hours, but it feels like you've been at it for 10 minutes. That's your zone of genius. That's okay. So when to help with your differentiation, when you know what you're great at, if it's analytics or customer service or whatever,
Mm.
I don't want you to double down. I don't want you to lean into it. I want you to double down on it. I want you to say, well, I'm good at this. No, get so good at it that you're known for it, that it continues to elevate you, elevate the company, elevate customers, clients, patients, whatever your the ultimate customers. If that differentiation helps that's what that's going to be that's going to be those that's going to really help you move your career forward. So the PID system is what I tell people is, I don't need you. In my book, there's 45 different tips on what you could do,
Mm.
right? 15 with preparation, 15 with intentionality, and 15 with differentiation. I only want you to pick one, and pick one in your zone of genius and make it a towering strength. It's a strength now. You're good at it. Make it a towering strength. Then maybe pick another one. You don't have to pick one from each column, one from each. Just pick one, because what I want you to be with the PID system is become irreplaceable at work. I want you to be, I want people to say, hey, listen, she is so good that we not only have to keep her, we have to pay her more. And I have to get her in a position where she can do what she's great at a higher pace. That's how you want to do this. And if in fact there's downsizing or right sizing or whatever, they say, we have to disband this entire part of our organization, but we're taking Shreya out and we're gonna make her job so she stays with us. She's so valuable that we're gonna get rid of everybody else but keep her.
Yeah.
That's really what the whole system does, is puts you in a place where you become irreplaceable. If you're so, and somebody will say, Rutherford, everybody's replaceable. Everyone's replaceable. So what I'll say to you is, you might replace the body, but you probably, if they're great, like I mentioned, you're probably not going to replace the impact they're making, the results
Mm.
to the company, the customers, and that's the part that's irreplaceable. If you've done such a great, because I will tell you, it's happened to me. We had a great rep. This rep was the number one rep in our company. She left, and the next person we put in there was a really good rep. But that rep has never gotten to the level that the previous rep, never. And this person was really good. Right? It was really good, but you
Not great.
couldn't replace her. Couldn't replace the results that she had.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about. You can put somebody as somebody else there to occupy the position. But were they equal to or better? No, right? And that's the irreplaceable part. And the last thing I'll say about the PID system, if you if you start using the system and thinking about how do I prepare better, how am I more intentional, how do I differentiate myself, there's zero downside to this. There's only upside because you're growing yourself.
Yes.
You're growing and making the company better. You're making it better for your customers or clients or patients that you serve. There is zero downside to this, right? And if you get better and something happens, you are extremely employable if something happened to the company you're with now because of all the things that you accomplished and you can talk about before.
Yeah, this is such a stupendous framework, and thank you for all the great words. I think this will help so much the aspiring leaders too. And what role does intentional communication play in your leadership model, and how can it reduce conflict while building trust?
Well, so intentional communication is important. Like I said to you, every single thing that I did as a first line leader was intentional.
Yes.
Communication. So you have to think about how you communicate, how it's, and knowing your group to how it's going to land with your group, right? Intentional communication is critical, right? Um, and I won't mention it, but there's been some communications in the news lately that I cannot believe there wasn't um, somebody in the background going, we shouldn't be saying this in to our people. We shouldn't say this is not gonna land well. We're gonna have people leave. Our customers are gonna retreat from us because we didn't really think about this. You need to be intentional, really think about how I'm gonna act. Just it's gotta be purposeful. It's gotta be that communication as a leader, you are judged on communication. Every word you say is parsed. Everything, because people will say, "What did she mean by that? I wonder why she said that or said it that way." So you really have to really think about what you're saying, the impact it's going to make, and the purpose behind what you're saying. So impactful communication is critical to being a great leader, not a good leader. A great leader, you have to really think about from an intentional uh, perspective, think about how you're going to say it in the manner and what you're going to say, and the forum you're going to say it, meaning one-on-one, little group, big group, voicemail, all that's
Yeah.
text, video, all that is, you should play those things on a regular basis to of what's the best way I should communicate that.
Yes, yes. And I think as a leader, each and every word is actionable for them. So, like the words and the environment, both are very important. And also for someone stepping into leadership or facing burnout in it, what would you say is their first internal checkpoint?
What's the first? What's the first? I'm sorry.
What would you say for them as their first internal checkpoint?
Oh, the internal checkpoint. So when you're stepping into leadership, um, so I mentioned how important listening is,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So, and you know, when a great CEO moves from one company to another company or one company to a different industry, a different company, they go on what they call listening tours,
yes.
right?
Mm.
You've heard of that, right? So when somebody's stepping into leadership, that's exactly what they should do. They should go on a listening tour with their new team to find out everything about what's happening, what what's happening, it's great. What happened, it could be better. And then that again, it's listening. You're not giving direction yet. You're just finding out what's going on, what they're used to, and then you're planning. So the first thing, most important thing, the listening tour or listening to your team.
Yeah, yeah, that's such a grounding reminder. And uh, if my listeners want to connect with you, then what's the best way?
So thank you for asking. So that the best way is my website is glasswallsleadership.com. My LinkedIn is it's just my name, Rutherford Pascal. You're not going to find this no other Rutherford
Oh,
Pascal
still get the same.
on LinkedIn. So that's having an interesting name helps in that situation. So yeah, so those are probably the two best ways to get a hold of me. Glass Walls Leadership and my LinkedIn page.
Yes, and I'll make sure to link all of these details attached so that our user can find them easily. Although you have a very unique name, but still, I'll try to attach this so that our user don't have to go to LinkedIn and search. They can just listen to this and click into the link. And to my listener, Rutherford reminds us that leadership isn't about being the loudest in the room. It's about being the clearest in your intention and the calmest in your presence. So, whether you are leading a team or leading your life, remember preparation, intentionality, differentiation. That's how leaders create impact from inside and outside.